Today we celebrate the wonderful feast of Padre Pio. He's a very popular saint. He's got a great devotion and following and has for quite some time now. But at the same time, he hasn't been removed from history too long, so to speak. Some people may have even gone and seen him while he was alive, since he was alive not so long ago. In fact, someone told me this morning that a friend of theirs went to confession to Padre Pio. So it's fairly within the last century. People may still have met him or know him. On a personal note, last year I led a pilgrimage to Italy, and we went to San Giovanni Rotondo, where Padre Pio was for the better part of 50 or 60 years, the last 50 or 60 years of his life. And his body is there. It's incorrupt. It does not degrade. And it's out there, and there's a nice case and everything. You could walk and see and touch the side of it and pray there. And there's a great devotion, and there's a huge festival. There's these processions down the street. There's singing and dancing. It's something amazing to see and to witness and be a part of. And it's wild because it starts the night before. So it would have been last night they would start the celebrations, and they celebrate Mass, guess what? At midnight. As soon as they can celebrate his feast day, they do. And they're up till 2, 3 in the morning just for Mass. That's just Mass. And so it's quite wonderful. It's something to be a part of. And it was quite moving to see. I'm going to get to Padre Pio in a second, but one of the ladies in our pilgrimage, actually, it's very hilly there, very hilly. She fell down and hurt herself, and we had to go to the hospital. And sure enough, that's the hospital that Padre Pio founded. So it wasn't really part of our pilgrimage, but we ended up going there. And it's where the miracle that Pope John Paul II, what he used for the canonization of Padre Pio. It was a young boy, I think he was 7 years old. He had meningitis, and he was dying. The night before, most of his organs were shutting down, and they told the family, he's not going to make it. The next day, the boy came to completely well. And what did he say? He says, I came across a monk, which was Padre Pio, with a long white beard, who told him, you will be well. You will be well. And that's when he woke up. And so that was the miracle that they used for the canonization of Padre Pio. He was in that hospital that, again, we just sort of stumbled upon. But a little bit about Padre Pio. It's important to get to know him a little bit, just like we did get to know St. Matthew a couple days ago. Padre Pio was Italian. He wasn't known as Padre Pio in the beginning. He was born Francesco Forgione. So if I said we're celebrating the feast of Francesco Forgione, you may be wondering who was that. But that was his birth name. And when he was about 15 years old, 15, imagine that, 15, he knew he wanted to be a Capuchin. And so he joined the novitiate at 15, 16, and then he was ordained a priest at 22 years of age. Imagine that, having that clearness of vocation at such a young age, and so clearly that was a gift. Now there's all sorts of gifts and that the Lord gave Padre Pio, that I think many people talk about his gifts, and so just to mention some of them, he had the gift of bilocation, of being at two places at the same time, which just blow our mind when we think about it, but that's a gift that he used for ministry. And people would say that he was hearing their confession, and it was two different people in different places, or that he appeared to them. And so that was a gift that the Holy Spirit used to, again, minister and give that gift of his vocation. Some people talked about levitation in prayer, even at Mass. And in confession, the reading of souls. You know, when we go to confession, sometimes there's something we don't want to talk about. Something that maybe we have shame or guilt towards, that we go there saying, I'm going to confess it, and we talk about all the other little ones, but we don't talk about maybe the big sin. Well, Padre Pio somehow had a gift. Again, the Holy Spirit would give him that gift of reading souls and say, by the way, you forgot this soul, or this sin. And so many people said that would happen, where he would start to tell them his sins. Now, don't quote me on this. I think this is Padre Pio, but if it's not, then forgive me. But one of the saints who was like this, I think it was Padre Pio heard his father's confession. Was it? Yes, it was. Thank you, Dalton. Padre Pio heard his father's confession, And it went to something like his father said, I want to go to confession, but I don't really want to tell you everything. And he said, it's all right, Dad, I already know. And he said his father's sins, which was kind of amazing and beautiful at the same time. And so that was a wonderful gift that Padre Pio had. And I think one of the main ones that extraordinary gifts that Padre Pio had was the stigmata, which he had for the better part of half a century. So the stigmata is the gifts, or the wounds of Christ in his hands and in his side would actually bleed, especially during Mass, when he would celebrate Mass. And it was something to behold. You can actually look it up on YouTube, believe it or not, and see Padre Pio celebrating Mass and different things like that. Again, because we had the gift of him being around the last century or so. But it was something to see, and even he received persecution for that gift, even within the church, whether it be other church officials or bishops being upset, even jealous or envious maybe, and saying that that's not real, and you cannot celebrate Mass publicly for some time, and what a tremendous challenge and suffering that he endured in his life. But he was very dedicated to two key sacraments as a Capuchin, was celebrating the Mass and, of course, hearing confessions. So just a wonderful, wonderful example of priesthood, of faithfulness, of dedication, of suffering and prayer, and dedication to healing through confession and advice and things like that to people. So today we celebrate the feast of Padre Pio, and just call to mind, it's wonderful that the Church has this tradition of remembering saints that lived, or people that came before us that became saints and lived lives of heroic virtue and holiness, because they're examples to us. They're examples to us, especially the closer they are to our lifetime. Like I said, if we even encountered these people, some people I've spoken to had the gift or the benefit of encountering Brother Andre when he was alive of Montreal, one of our Canadian saints. So, you can talk to them, and hopefully that's what we're called to do in our lives, is to help each other become saints, just like spouses are called to help each other become saints. Here we have this opportunity of seeing that growth in holiness, seeing the sufferings that we go through, and knowing that we're human and that we struggle with things and that this is real, but at the same time seeing that progressive growth over the years in our own life, in our own faith life. So today we thank the Lord for the gift of Padre Pio, for the gift of the signs that sometimes we need to lead us to deeper faith, deeper trust in the Lord. And in our gospel, the main message was, who do the people say that I am? And Peter said, you are the Christ, the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Padre Pio knew who Jesus was. And we are all led to that deeper relationship of saying, you are Christ, you are the Son of the living God, when Jesus asks us, who do you say that I am?